this is a technology university. So we have no dearth of technology or no dearth of talent and knowledge that the world of technology brings in. Our programs have always focused on leadership. So we had a service leadership program earlier. We also had a human resource development program earlier where we focus on developing leaders, right? So we are combining the developing leaders component with the technology component of RIT plus the business or the organizational focus of the business school. That's why I think it's a good place to be if you want to study organizational leadership and innovation. The Masters in Organizational Leadership and Innovation is a new program that we have introduced in the College of Business. The reason why we introduced it was we wanted to kind of be responsive to the changes that are happening in the world and in the business, right? So the technological changes that are happening and how it is important for leaders to be able to lead amidst the disruption technology is causing, and also be able to lead in innovative contexts. Regardless of the industry you are in, this program will be useful for you, right? So whether you are in a very traditional workspace or you are in a very high-tech kind of industry, or whether you are in a startup or a very legacy company, wherever you are, this program will definitely give you skills to prepare you for the world of work of tomorrow, will prepare you for leadership roles in the future. The first program, actually I teach the course, the Technology in the Future of Work course. So the course particularly focuses on AI and automation, not from a technical perspective, but from what does it mean to the employers? What does it mean as an organization? How do you lead in an organization which is going through this automation or adopting AI in its different processes, right? So what are the implications for the work itself that happens within the organization? What are the implications for the workers, like the employees? What kind of changes will they have to cope with, and how do organizations prepare them to manage the kind of changes that are happening in their roles, their professional identities, the skill requirements that come with all these changes, and also how do you deal with the kind of fear and anxiety and insecurity that may come with a lot of these technological changes and new software coming into the work process or being introduced in work processes. So that is actually the first course in the program which I teach, the Technology and the Future of Work course. One of the things that course gives students is, number one, an introduction into the world of AI and automation as it stands today in organizations, right? When we think about automation, we think about robots. Robots are not the only automation. We also have process automation. What level of automation are we talking about, right? So everywhere around us there is automation, there is AI. Sometimes we are not even aware that we are dealing with AI. First, to kind of give students who are not engineers, who are not technology professionals, an idea about AI and automation. That is one. Two, to be able to kind of get them to reflect upon the changes that will happen in their own line of work. It may not be happening today, but it is coming, and it's coming down the line. So to be able to anticipate the kind of changes that will be happening in your field, in your line of work, right? And if you are in a position where you have to lead the organization or a team through these kind of changes and technological adoption, what skills would you need, right? What awareness and sensitivities do you need to be able to lead ethically and lead responsibly in these kind of situations? We teach them specific skills. For instance, we have a specific course on leading innovation, right? So it takes a completely different kind of leader and different kind of skills to be able to lead an innovative team, as opposed to leading a traditional team in a traditional organization. All organizations are political entities in the sense that there are power dynamics. So change also involves change in power, right? People may resist because they don't want to lose the power, or they do not want to lose their network or their friendships or whatever. So you have to teach them how to be strategic about leading change, understanding the context of change, understanding who you are dealing with, where do these people come from, what might be the cost for the individuals you want to change, right? Whether it is the sales department or the production department. What does it mean to this particular group of people when you ask them to change something? Understanding that, giving them the sensitivities, and also teaching people to be kind of strategic in how they handle and how they navigate this change process. So that is another one. We also teach people to lead teams in general, right? So how do you lead what kind of skills do you need to perform and behave as a leader? Being able to resolve conflicts is an integral part of leadership, right? So things always it's not a bed of roses all the time. So you need to be able to step back and engage in conflict resolution, conflict management. This course also teaches them, this program also teaches them conflict resolution. So we teach them specific skills that are required to perform effectively as leaders in an organizational context, specifically in innovative contexts. The program is not meant, number one, not meant for technical professionals, right? It is very useful for technical professionals who do not have these leadership or the people skills. But it is not meant for only technical people. It is meant for anybody who wants to be a leader, who has aspirations to be a leader, or who wants to kind of hone their leadership skills. We are not new to online learning. So we have been running from the HRD and the SLI programs have been running in an online format for many years, more than a decade or so. And we also run this program in Croatia and in Dubai in different formats, right? So we are very used to the online format. So what we do in an online, though this is a completely asynchronous online program, particularly in my courses, I do webinars, which are optional, number one. Because I know people signed up for an asynchronous program, so I cannot mandate them to be there, but we do, I do live webinars, we record it and we post it. We also post regular materials. Our course materials are very organized and we post them right at the beginning of the semester. So students know what to expect, what to read, and we also provide inputs by way of webinars, optional webinars. And we also do discussion boards. I use discussion boards as a major learning tool. Number one, to keep students engaged with the content. Number two, to kind of create a discussion that we may miss because we are not in an actual classroom. We have assignments that are very application oriented. We are less of a theory driven program and more of an application kind of program, application driven program, because we focus on preparing students for the workforce, preparing students for the workplace actually. Every project and every assignment has an application component. In the Leading Change course, we also do a simulation, kind of gives them an opportunity to try out their ideas and thoughts. We also use case studies, but simulation is better than case studies because it allows students to see the results of their action. This is not going to be your traditional business program. So this demands some level of curiosity. You want to be, because the future is not here yet. So you're preparing yourself for a future, right? So you need to have this curiosity. You need to be interested in innovation. You need to be interested in being a leader. So those are the fundamental expectations. And we look for what students can bring to the group, what kind of diversity of occupations or ideas or workplace familiarity they bring. So we have this kind of a diversity of fields and occupations that are represented. So as a program director, I'm very particular that students bring in something to the group. It's not just about what they can take from the group, it's also about what they can add, what value they can add to a particular group. So field-specific knowledge, right? And different levels of experience. Some come with 2 years of experience, some come with 10+ years of experience. They know the field inside out. So and they are curious to know about what is happening in other fields, right? So when you have this multiplicity of fields being represented in the program, that allows them to learn a lot from each other, and they are able to support each other's learning that way. The MS in Organizational Leadership program will prepare you for jobs in innovation, right? To be an innovation specialist, or to work in innovation, or to be a leader in any innovation context, right? So when your transcript says you have learned leading innovation, you have learned leading change, you know what technology is coming and what kind of changes this technology will bring to your to the particular field. You also have done enough research on different fields and the kind of technological changes. It prepares you for the present and the future, I would say, in terms of jobs. They will leave this program understanding very well that they have to learn continuously. So as I begin my classes with my program introduction with this quote from Alvin Toffler, right? The illiterates in the 21st century are those that are not willing to learn, unlearn and relearn. So if you want to be literate in this 21st century, in this age of AI, you have to be willing to learn, unlearn and relearn. It's a constant loop. So that is one thing I would always say that my students would take away from this program. The first course will kind of set that very clearly in their minds, that you have to be willing to learn and willing to adapt, because there is no guarantee what the world will look like. We don't even know what the world will look like 10 years from now, what education will look like, what your field of operation will look like in 10 years, right? The only constant is you. So gone are the days when I can do the same job for 30 years and forget about everything else. Your roles and your tasks and the expectations and the skills are going to change by the day. Right? That is the reality of the world that you are stepping out into. So the most important skills would be your attitude. What kind of attitude are you taking with you? Your willingness to learn, your curiosity, your agility, your adaptability, your resilience. So that is, I think, if I can give the students this at the end of the program, I think my program would be successful. And that is what this program will exactly prepare you for.